time where we elongate, it becomes this space where we elongate that experience in our nervous system. So again, enjoy as many as you'd like. There will be a few where I'll be very intentional to call them in, but we're gonna go ahead and try to kick this off. So let's see, resume here. Can y'all see the slides? Is that right? Yes. Awesome. Okay.
I can see them, yeah. And also, there was a little lag in the live. We are live now, so if you
Ándale.
would, yeah, for sure. Just a heads up. Feel free to recap as much or as little as you'd like, and then feel free to get into the lovely presentation you have
Oh,
for us all.
absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name is Josue Manuel Munoz. I'm very blessed and excited to be here, sharing a little piece of my heart and, in some ways, the entirety of my heart in these few slides. Um, you, I believe you jumped in right as we were discussing, talking, touching on the power of a deep breath.
Yes.
So, with that, we'll just enjoy another one. Why not? I shared that I'm a mindful media educator, and this is a little bit of how that journey started. We're in the middle of quite a media landscape, a social media landscape in which we're consumers and creators, and because I've always been a big believer in the power of youth in leading and guiding us forward. I went from wanting to do youth work to realizing, like many of the people on this call and in this space, that intergenerational, ancestral, inner child healing work, shadow work, is all very much connected in what it is that I hope to continue cultivating in spaces like these. Now, this just happens to be through my particular lens, right? And when it comes to mindfulness, which I usually break down all the definitions, and I guess I could, wow, mindful, focusing one's awareness on the present moment, especially as part of a therapeutic or meditative technique. Tune into your body and be mindful. So mindful media, we all come in as multimedia artists with particular focuses and curiosities, creative expression and expertise. But the beautiful thing about mindfulness is that it's really the practice of focusing our attention. So with that, don't mind me while I go back, and I don't think I can because this only goes forward. This is great. One second, lovelies. Let's take this back to the top. Everybody can see the slide. Yes, correct. Back at the top. Lovely. So to simplify the process, I've narrowed it down to 3 steps that are very crucial to my experience. And the first one is let's get lit, or let's get literate, as we acknowledge that in our primary education in the US, like in many other countries, literacy is crucial to our children's development and their ability to continue growing. We know that if a child is not on board at the 4th grade level when it comes to their ability to read and write with their peers, they continue to exponentially fall behind in the grades to come. So, and getting literate, and in this case, being literate about media, I just hope to acknowledge the importance of reading the world around us, to not only think about literacy as reading words, but to contextualize those words with the worlds that we engage with. And then after we kind of, pick apart the isms and white supremacy and how it's very embedded into every aspect of our culture and society, that's where that deep breath comes in. And I am is that space where we kind of, yes, explore, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am Chicanx, Latinx, genderqueer, all the things, and yet there's something divine and beautiful in not completing that I am phrase, and just meditating and ruminating in that space where there is an immeasurable and undescribable opportunity to be without the need to fill in the blank, if you will. And then once we kind of take that deep breath, we then create, and we create love. And that's the big reason why I invited Hector to this space, because I feel that Hector embodies a lot of this work in what he does as an alchemic coach. So as far as community guidelines go, I really just want to set up this space to allow everybody to ease into their body, however that makes sense to you. So if you want to turn off your camera, if you want to, whatever makes sense for you, but really take a moment to ease in and feel into what is going on in you. And again, an important piece to ensuring that we spread love and not the virus. The virus being fear, anxiety, white supremacy, the isms, and all that. So, number one, respect. Two, take space, make space. And those to me really mean listen. So these you might be a little familiar with. But this third one, on the way, in the way, out the way, is to acknowledge that we're all on the way in regards to healing our inner child, to creating and shaping a world that is, I apologize for the phone ringing. But as far as on the way goes, something that I normally do a little bit earlier in the presentation is acknowledge that the media shapes and stages this argument between us versus them. And on the way is really about shifting that away from an us versus them, left versus right, towards an us versus the problem. So on the way is us progressively moving forward to healing and easing our way through any problems that arise. And those problems are in the way. So again, that let's get lit and getting literate component is about identifying those things in the way. So throughout this space and throughout any space that you're in dialogue, encouraging you, myself, to remember not to point the fingers at the other, but to acknowledge that there's a virus taking host on the people we love, on the people that we disagree with, ideologies, if you will, that get in the way of our ability to continue on the way. So once we identify with a little bit of literacy about how these problems manifest in our communities, in our families, in our cultural gatherings, identifying what's in the way and getting it out the way so that we can all continue on the way. So with that, oops and ouch, having a language to say, ouch, what you said there doesn't quite sit with me, or what you said, quite frankly, steps on my freedoms and my ability to be at peace in this space. So that then gives the other person the ability to say, oops, and vice versa, that oops is a very simple language to say, I've made a mistake, and that's very important in these digital spaces, and especially in artistic expression. We're flowing, and sometimes we don't realize the way that the problems and the isms take host can sometimes manifest in anti-Semitism and white supremacy, which is simply not allowed in this space. And the reason I cultivate spaces like these and I'm committed to spaces like these is to help smoothen out the process of getting everybody back on the way and acknowledging that we can't save everybody, but that's why we breathe and proceed. That's very much why I love doing this work. Everybody deserves the opportunity to be in community, but again, if you're gonna commit to being in the way of everybody's collective liberation, then we're gonna need you to get out the way so that we continue with today. I've already kind of broken this 1, 2, 3 below, but I just wanted to bring in the 4 agreements and the words of Don Miguel Ruiz when he acknowledges that words are magic, and we can use magic for good or we can use it for the opposite. But you can use your words and your magic as you will. The last thing that I wanted to touch on here is one of my favorite acknowledgements throughout the Four Agreements and Don Miguel Ruiz's other work is that we often get caught up in this good versus evil dynamic. But as a literacy educator, as a mindful media educator, the words that stood out the most to me were that we're really caught in a battle between truth and lies. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of binaries. Again, I often feel that they're staged, but this one really helped clarify that when it comes to the yin and yang of it all, I am good, I am bad, like I am, like inevitably. And that acceptance and that acknowledgement allows me to live in a little bit more peace. And yet that acknowledgement of truth and lies helps me see that we have the ability to live in a state of truth, and that there are these things in the way that are simply lies and get caught up in our ability to communicate and connect. So with that, I just wanted to set an intention. And we discussed it in our question of the day, which is who or what are you honoring in this full moon cycle, or in this full moon coming up? And with that, yeah, that's the glimpse at the work. If anybody's interested in taking this deeper or in bringing this to your class, to your community org, to your group, con mucho gusto, with a lot of love. I'll be spreading this work for years to come, creator willing. So with that, setting intention to honor, I want to invite you all to take another deep breath. Hector, how are we doing on time? And what is next up on the agenda?
For sure. Thank you so much for checking in. That was amazing. I mean, yeah. Okay, so what we have next is the mindfulness exercise. We're actually right on time. So
Lovely.
it's great that you checked in. That would be a perfect time to do about like a 5 to 7 minute mindfulness exercise, and then I can transition into the alchemic activation with my piece of regularity, break it down a little bit, and yeah, we'll get into my section of the workshop.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate this. And I appreciate everybody for sharing this moment and being present to the best of your abilities. I'm very well aware that there are an infinite number of things pulling us in different directions. And that is why the breath becomes the guide to the now. So with that, I wanted to share a little piece, but I find it significantly more important to kind of, again, expand the time and space where we just continue breathing and pulling ourselves back in. Kelsey's asking for the link with this is streaming. Hector, if you can drop that in the chat, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, let me find that for you all.
And with that, we'll go ahead and take that first deep breath. The first of many, and probably the third first that we've taken in our time together. And as we reflect and ruminate on what and who we're honoring, and we honor who we are and what we carry, as we honor the people, the love, the spirits, the guidance that strengthen us, and those that help us be mindful of our weaknesses, to help and see and understand the roots, that every deep breath may wash over and make it just a little bit easier to let go. With every breath, I encourage you to let go. to let flow unfold the tensions within and let your undefinable light grow. With every breath, we let go and we grow, knowing and trusting that everything in relation to the past, everything in our past that we honor, and everything in our future that we wish to honor and are actively manifesting, that with every breath, we let go. And trust that when we're done with this little exercise and we continue with our day, it'll be right there waiting for us. And we let go. Imagining as if the mind is a deep and vast sink that contains our memories, our ancestral ties, the words that we use to help others understand who we are, what we do. And then we unplug the drain and let it all pour out. With every breath, the past and the future flush, leaving us with nothing but the now. And we ease beyond that sink to the space where we can grow and flow without any particular form. And as you breathe through and ease in this space, I simply ask, what is it that you find here? And what is it that you honor from this place? So that I don't take us too much farther from this collective space that we're sharing, I call us all back in at your own pace. Whatever source or light or love that you tapped into in that place, may it come with you as you move forward through your next few breaths, through our next few moments. And as long as this light and love accompanies you, knowing very well that it's right there with you, wherever, whenever, and however you go. We let go and we grow. So as we come back, I'm sure you'll notice that some of the things that you let go, that you left behind are right there. You're welcome to pick up as many of them as you'd like. And or just leave them there because you know they'll be there. But again, as I encourage everybody to explore their own mindfulness practice, my work and I'm simply here to remind you that we have power in what we choose to pick up, and what we choose to think for the lessons and the pressure that allowed us and enabled us to grow in particular directions. And whenever something no longer serves us, that we have the ability the wisdom and the grace to forgive and flow in a direction that best serves us and those we love. So with that, Hector, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for taking the time to share some of your wisdom and your knowledge and your creative practice, your relationship with alchemy, which I'm really just fortunate to be sharing this space with so many others that are doing this work. Thank you.
I was just letting everything you just said simmer for a little bit, because that, wow, it really took me on this internal journey. And, like the fact that we moved at the pace of trust with this whole thing. And like, I had no clue you were going to say any of that the way that you did, even though I had, that intuitive feeling of the general sense of what this might be like. But to like hear that and for you to share it in this space, like, thank you so much, Josue. Like, that is just absolutely amazing. Like, this feels like this is the perfect transition into into the piece I'm going to share with you all in just a moment. Wow. Yeah, and you just give it up for Josue. Like, oh my God. Like, drop some love in the chat, put up those emojis. Feel free to mute or unmute and give some snaps, some claps, like drop a 7 if any of that resonated. I am dropping like all those 7s. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, that was, I'm so happy that we're like saving this, because like for anyone that watches this in the future, anyone who would like to revisit that, like it's there. So okay. I'm not trying not to get too ahead of myself. Okay. So thank you, Josue, so much for that. That is the perfect transition into my piece, oracularity. So before I get into it, I'm just gonna double check myself on time. Okay, we're doing great. I'm going to share my sound, computer audio. Okay. So this is my piece, oracularity. I'm going to be dropping a link in chat to the audio-visual experience on my YouTube. Oop, let me hyperlink that so that's clickable. Feel free to, if you would like to, you can mute the video and read along in the description if you would like. I also would advise you to make time on your own to revisit it, build that relationship with this piece. It feels so much bigger than me. It has a whole life of its own, and y'all will see. So this is one of my favorite pieces ever to perform, oracularity. Can you all hear the sound okay? Oh, that's odd. Hold on. Let me, okay. Share computer audio, share sound. Can you all hear that?
It says that you're sharing computer sound, but I'm not quite hearing it yet.
Oh, okay. Maybe if I turn up the volume. Is that any better? Do you hear anything, Josue?
We can hear your voice, but if you're playing music, I can't quite hear music. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Thank you, Bree.
good. Let me. Hmm. Okay, it's all good. Then I'll just go along with my voice for this. It's all good.
We're
So
with you, homie.
this piece is oracularity. In the distance, I hear a knocking, and it does not make me cower. Like my mother's knuckle knocks, it cradles the internality of my forehead and sparks, catalyzes its inner uncrucifying from the body held onto so tight for so long, for so many centuries. The way light glints at its own reflection, it glistens and gleams into God's last dream, dissolved onto the mouths of his disciples during his last supper. Supper is just a synonym for rite of passage, for slumber. And so in the source of my mind, my every stomached meal becomes a ritual, becomes the inversion of sacramented Eucharist. And my every ancestor awakens from the grave of my inner mind mausoleum, and they chant in harmony stacked like summits birthing other mountains on top of themselves. And in this way, I am reborn like I always am. Every day, this ceremony blesses my skin with the alive of my pulse, and I tap my wrists in awe at their organic machinery and how my breath is the summary of my well-being, and how many bodies have died in the name of unjust sacrilege, and how the priest never forgives sinners within the depths of his locked box chest. And isn't lockbox just a man's way of imprisoning what he knows can set fire to his skyscrapers, like his sky suddenly scraping itself into the multiplicity of a black hole singularity until his ego crumbles back into the stardust that birthed it, like how a mother could unbirth their child at any moment but does not, and thus the undoing becomes the holy, and thus I am undone until I am nothing but a ball of light floating incandescent in the hands of a spirit. To like my father and mother's spirit had something special in mind when they decided to emerge me from the shadows of what should have never been born. My mother's birth canal was too narrow, my cranium too large. To this day, I've had to constantly allow ancestral and descendant energies to cradle me out from narrow birth canals each time I'm reborn, and this channeling and everything but a death, and death is nothing but a vein collapsing into a root system, and I am every nothing that brought me here to breathe myself into existence until I resurrect every choir the preacher deemed too revolutionary, too potent, to earthquake. And so I paint a self-portrait each time enough of my cells invert themselves into near a recognition, and my cognition expands beyond the scope of the previously impossible, and possibility becomes a crystalline sphere within my grasp. And I sigh at how closed eyes could channel a river through their forehead as well. All they have to do is sit in the field of bullets and neuron and bone and blood and clay and metal and fire and webs and mirrors and kaleidoscopes, and listen and listen and listen, 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 listen. Oracularity.
That was so
Thank
fire. Thank you.
Fire.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the sevens. Ah.
Well done.
Oh, I appreciate you all so much. That piece
It really,
transforms. What was that?
it really resonates.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Can you guys hear me? I said it really resonated.
Oh, it resonated. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, that piece is oracularity. It is in my book, Strange Alchemy, as an erasure. It's on my YouTube as an audio visual. It's on all streaming platforms. It just has a whole life of its own. And the reason that it's like out on so many different dimensions for people to access is because I feel that it's a prime example of what alchemic activation is. When I wrote it, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna write an alchemically activated piece. Like I'm gonna use my intuition to like write this 3.5 minute piece in under 30 minutes. Like, no, I wasn't I wasn't thinking of any of that. When I was writing this piece, I believe it was the last day of May a couple of years back, which is my birth month. And of course, when it's my birth month, like I feel like this whole portal just opens in my being for me to channel even more potently than I usually would be able to. And so that's one of the pieces that came through in the month of May. And I could have never thought it would resonate so highly with myself, with others and community, and that I would be performing it so often and giving it the life that helps it, grow and expand. And I learn something new every single time that I revisit that piece. And yeah, so with that piece, I like, as you all might know, I did write that in under 30 minutes. And the reason I mention that is because I cite that as an example of what is possible. It's not like, oh, you should only write pieces like that, but it is another route that is possible for you to take once, if you are able to, access that space within you, if you have been able to do the grieving, the love, the healing, to be able to build that sacred place within you. Whenever you visit that place, it will just come so naturally to you. It is something that happens when your unconscious speaks through your conscious mind. And so that's why I'm sharing oracularity with you all. And it's all about tapping into that inner truth. Has a lot going on, but listen. That is the core message. Listen to yourself, to your community, to your environment, to each other. Oracularity. All right. So now I'm going to be getting into, thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate it. I'm going to be getting into my section, my little presentation that we'll be getting into the actual writing portion of this workshop. Okay, so pulling up the alchemic activation. All right, about to share my screen. Share screen. Let's see if I can share sound that way. Are you all able to see that? All right, cool, for sure. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna play some more of that music. This is the track that I'm playing from my SoundCloud, and it's just a nice little ambiance for this. Really just exposing myself right now with those notes because I can't. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's get into this. So what I have here is the alchemic activation presentation, and there are 3 main suns that are a part of this. The one that we're going to dive into today is Dreamwork, which is the top sun. The left and right suns are creative endeavors and personal transformation. In the middle, it dives into more of how these all can intertwine for you to be able to create your own blueprint, your own tools to create an alchemic symbol. And because this goes so deep, we're only going to really be diving into the Dreamwork aspect of this. So for those of you that were able to donate to this lovely, amazing event, you have access to the full presentation, as well as a spell that I creative intuitively called How to Alter Bloom a Lotus from Your Mouth, which takes significant items and utilizes them to help you channel your unconsciousness into your consciousness, represented as a flower blooming from your mouth. Speak that inner truth, as well as a little more information of this transcript that birthed Oracularity, that birthed this event that is the reason we're here today. It's called Ghosts in the Dreamscape. And where do I even begin with Ghosts in the Dreamscape? It is a potent metaphysical narrative journey into my unconscious mind through alchemic symbols, poetry, and divine channeling spell work. This is the blueprint. This is why we're here today. It took me so long to create this. It's at over 7K words of just pure channeling. Imagine Oracularity times 20, like literally, like that is what it's like, with a foreword, with footnotes, with more symbols like these all throughout. If you all are interested, feel free to DM me. Feel free to drop maybe like a 3 in chat, and then I can take a look back at the chat and be like, okay, this person was interested in Ghosts in the Dreamscape. It is highly potent, highly valuable for anyone looking to radically transform. Every time I visit it, I'm like, whoa, this is a whole dreamscape that. Okay, let's talk more talk. Let's get into the actual presentation. So what we see here says, this is my ghost dreamscape of a historical unearthing. Behold, alchemic glossolalia, radicalized etymology. As the new body awaits emerging, it begins slumber once again. Glossolalia is basically was considered, quote, speaking in tongues. The way I utilize this in the framework of the piece is speaking your deepest inner truth, channeling, whether it's alchemic symbols, phrases, dance, music, whatever it may be, that can be considered glossolalia in the context of the alchemic activation. Okay, so this would be the time for you to get your pen and paper ready, to pull up that Google Doc, whatever helps you capture your thoughts in this moment. Okay. I guess that'll just stay on the left. Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice full screen. So this practice that is one angle of what it means to alchemically activate your being is what I call dreamscaping. I just want to know, a lot of this probably already existed before I, quote unquote, like channeled it, before it became present through me. So any adult terms, I do not claim them as mine. It's just something that I encountered. I did not discover it. It was already there in metaphysical space, in the dream space, and it is just some things that I encountered on my journey that I am sharing with you all. Okay, so I do want to flag that take however much space and time that you need with this exercise. It can go fairly deep. So if you need to take care of yourself, feel free to go off camera, do what you need. You can go as deep into this as you would like. You don't have to go all the way. So the exercise that we're going to be getting into is, I would like for you to reflect upon a recent or significant dream, to imagine it in as much vivid detail as possible, with caution, however comfortable or uncomfortable you would like to get into this. And so I really want to highlight a point that Kelsey pointed out, that dream work is grief work. So that noted, again, please take care of yourself if you need. So in order for us to be able to imagine this dream, it might be easier for you to imagine yourself outside of it, to imagine it as an energy ball that you're holding in your hands, like as a sphere, a pyramid, whatever shape feels best for you. So if you would like, you can start letting your body know, like, hey, this is something that I want to do. We are going to be creating metaphors with our body. In poetry, we create metaphors with words, and this is creating metaphors with your dreams, with your body. And so the metaphor we're creating is revisiting a significant dream that stands out to us. It can be the first dream that comes to you, doesn't necessarily have to be. anything that you feel you would like to lean into, whether it's one scene, whether it's a full scene of dreams. Just imagine yourself holding it in your hands like a cell. Imagine what it felt like for you to be present in that dream space, what it felt like to walk through it, to sit through it. Was it in first person? Was it in third person? Were there any sights, sounds, or smells? Did you hear anything? Think with your five senses, your five main senses. Think beyond your five senses. It can be hunger, confusion, urges, fear, joy. Take as much time as you need to really hold that dream space, whether it's in your mind, in your hands, whatever feels best for you. I'm just going to be looking at the chat for a little bit. Thank you, Marianne, for noting that. Feel free to tune in to the YouTube channel. We can send you the link. We appreciate you coming through. All right. So, as I am holding this dream creating itself in my hand, if you've ever had a dream that you were like, oh my God, this feels so real. I can't believe this was a dream and not my waking life. I want you to drop a 1 in the comments. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever had like a moment where you woke up and you were like, wait, that felt so real. like it just sounded vivid. It looked vivid. It felt vivid. Just the lines between reality, quote unquote, reality and dream space blurred. I see those ones in the chat. Shout out to y'all for sharing. So it could be that dream that you're holding in your hand. And once again, trying to imagine it through any of your five senses, beyond those five senses. And as you're building that dream, a dream just really came to me right now. It's the dream I had of when I realized that I was inside a turtle. There was like because there was a turtle diagram in this tunnel, and then I turned left and there was like a sacred space with white coral and sculptures, and I felt like I knew I wasn't the first one there, that people that I knew that lived and died and were reborn before me, they all visited that space and they came there to sanctify themselves. And so that's the dream that came to me, being inside a turtle, finding that sacred space. It can look different for everyone. This is an experience that's different for everyone. And so now that and again, do this at your own pace. If you have that dream in your hands, in your mind, in your psyche, I want you to begin to reimagine it. I want you to begin to resculpt it. Are there any details that you would add? Any details that you would remove or change? Any people that you would like to see present in that space? Anything from like, I just wish I had a piece of chocolate cake because that would have been nice, or something like, I really would have liked for this significant person in my life to be present in the stream so that we can share space together in that sacred place, as little or as big as you would like. You can change the weather, you can change colors, just anything that feels best for you, anything that sparks something within you. Maybe breathe into that space as well. Take your time, reimagine it as much as you would like. For me, what's coming through to me is just seeing a bunch of psychedelic colors like shimmering all throughout the sacred space inside that turtle, and I'm just like sitting there taking it all in. some ambient music playing in the background, maybe something like what's playing now. And if this exercise is resonating with you in this moment, feel free to drop a 9 in the chat. I would love to see who's resonating with this exercise in this moment. You can hold the dream in one hand, type that 9 in the other. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Chardonnay and Josue. Shout out to you all. Shout out to everyone present here in this space. And now that we have that dream present in our hands, in our mind, if you would like to hold it, again, imagining it as vivid as you are able to through any and all senses, gradually begin to pour it over yourself. Let it just cascade all over and through your being. What we're doing here is bringing the dreamscape into our current reality. If you feel that this is grief work for you, feel free to take care of yourself. Feel free to make some space for yourself. This might be a lot for some people. This might be intense and deep, so only go as deeply as you would like. Potentially imagine the different aspects of that dream as a liquid, just pouring all over your being from the top of your head, of your crown, all the way down to the base of your spine at your root. Just really embodying what that space feels like for you. If it's a place where you feel safe, feel free to embody that. If it's a place, that dreamscape is a place that doesn't feel as safe, you don't have to do what I just did. You can continue to hold it, examine it, lean into what it might be telling you here in this moment. And as the dream becomes embodied within us, just taking some deep breaths. And as we breathe out, feel free to imagine that spiral representing speech, speaking your inner truth, emerging from your mouth. And now, I definitely feel different. I definitely feel some type of way after that exercise. If you feel some type of way after that, feel free to type a 5 in the comments. I like to see who's resonating with this practice. It is something that this practice visited me yesterday and was like, this is what feels best for me. This is what would resonate with people in this moment. And so, in spirit of oracularity, listen as deeply as you can to whatever comes up for you internally, externally. I want to cite the fact that there are so many Black and brown femmes that I am inspired by, such as Gloria Ansaldúa, Thea Monnier, Ebony Janice, Bell Hooks. They are such huge catalysts for me to be able to embody this work and share space with you all. So if you all have a chance, I highly recommend that you all check them out. I can put the names in the chat. Gloria Ansaldúa, Thea Monnier, Ebony Janice, Bell Hooks. If you research any one of those people, you are bound to transform in some kind of way. Okay, so now that we're settled into that dreamscape space, I want you to get your pen and paper, get settled, get oriented, get your pen, get your fingers ready. Another deep breath. And so what we're going to do is reflect on what that journey was like for you, what it was like for you to begin diving into that dreamscape space, what it was like for you to feel through within and outside of your main five senses, what it was like for you to reimagine and resculpt that dream space into something that is lucid in our conscious mind. Detail as much or as little as you would like. The fact that you're here present in this space might be enough for you. Maybe you don't need to write. Maybe you do need to write about this experience, whatever feels best for you. And so with this practice, I would encourage you all to keep your pen on the page. Even if you're just thinking, if you're unsure of what to write next, just keep that pen on the page, keep those fingers on whatever device you're using to type, just to maintain the creative flow that we are entering in this space. And so, again, detailing the journey of you revisiting that dream space, five senses, reimagining, resculpting it, what it was like to walk through that space and embody it in your being. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And we can get started with our writing. I will be noting down what that experience was like for me. I will also be present in the chat if you all have any questions. I will leave up this presentation for you all to write. And yeah. Does anyone have any questions, any comments, anything they would like to share in the chat? If any one of those points is enough for you to write, then you can just deep dive on like, okay, here's my five senses. Here's my reimagination of that dream. Any single point can work as a writing prompt for you. Does that make sense, Josue? Are there any questions or things I can clarify to help people with this writing prompt?
I feel as though you've been clear. I trust everybody to ease into it at their pace, and if they have questions, they can hit us up in the comments.
All right, great, for sure. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be checking in with everyone at around 10 minutes. And if people need more time, we can give a couple more minutes. We are going to be transitioning soon into our open mic, and we're going to be transitioning into our pre-open mic raffle. So for all of you present today, for Josue's giveaway. So going to give us 10 minutes. I'll be present, also creating my own account of what this experience was like for me. Feel free to let me know if you'll have any questions. And 10 minutes starting now. All right. We're at 10 minutes. Um, Thank you all for those of you present in this space. I would like to check in with you all, see if you all would like a bit more time. If you're good on time, feel free to drop a period. If you would like a little more time, feel free to drop an exclamation point, just so I can see how people are doing. I know this was a lot. And of course, this exercise isn't limited to this space. Video is going to be on my YouTube channel, so feel free to revisit this as much as you would like. Mila, thank you so much for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing space. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, feel free to return to the recording. Love and blessings to you as well. All right, I see a period. Feel free to drop a period if you're good to go. Feel free to drop an exclamation point if you feel you need a little more time. I see both. Period and exclamation point. Josue, would you like more time?
I do not mind moving on.
Okay. Okay,
If
for
anybody
sure.
else wants more time, please chime in.
Yeah. Okay. So what I can do is as well is let me see if I can copy paste the prompt into the chat. That way, anyone who would like to keep going with this can. Okay. Let's see. Technology. Okay. There's so many things on my screen. Just give me a second. Okay. I'm now going to be able to copy and paste. Okay. Copying and pasting. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Prompt is in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. All right. Let's get into the next portion of this. Okay, so thank you all so much for being here. Before we get into sharing either what we wrote today or a piece that you'd like to share, we're going to get into our first raffle for the Mindful Media Makers Mastermind for Josue. So I'm going to be noting down the people still present here in the space. And also, would you like to say a little bit more about that as I get that set up?
Yes, absolutely. So it's set up as a kind of group facilitation. I've had the privilege of hosting it with one person attending, and it is just as potent and powerful. So, to whoever wins the raffle, I would love to share this in whatever capacity you would enjoy this, either as a one on one session or if you want to invite other loved ones. And then, yeah, I've been on a journey home, and home has very much been spaces like these where conversation, collaboration, creativity can flow, and uh, that's what I'm interested in cultivating. And again, in a way that Hector has kind of offered a few different alchemic tools. I offer a few different mindfulness tools that I shared a little bit about here. Um, but the intention is to make our way through the rest of the slides that we introduced at the beginning of today's session. And yeah, just afterwards open up space for you in that capacity and however I can support, listen, and affirm the vision and the mission that you find yourself on. If you have any questions or if that wasn't clear, please let me know.
Thank you so much for that. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna get our randomizer wheel. Let me share my screen with you all. Share screen onto the wheel randomizer. Okay, so I'm going to be entering the names of all the people present here. Brianna, Chardonnay, Karen. Oh, Pablo, stop. Thank you so much for coming through. You're just in time for the first raffle that we're doing. Christine, I see that I think it was a slow down option. Is there anything that you would that you have a question about? Anything that you feel we could explain a little more? If not, it's all good. Sometimes people click on things and it's like, oh, okay. So we have just double checking that I got everyone. If I didn't get you for whatever reason, feel free to let me know. Okay, so let's do this for the Mindful Media Makers Masterclass. And give it up for Brianna. Woo, woo, woo. All right.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, for sure. Do you have anything that you would like to share?
Not at this exact moment. Maybe in a couple of minutes.
All right. Oh, thank you so much. Josue will be keeping in touch about the form in which you would like to receive the prize for the Mindful Media Makers Masterclass. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all so much. And now, pretty sure that we are going to, yeah. Okay. We're going to get into our open mic. So let me stop sharing the screen. Music faded out just in time for me to hand the mic over to you all. I am going to be... Okay, how do I unspotlight myself? Remove my pin. Okay, for sure. So, thank you all so much for staying through this open mic. And now, feel free to prep either the piece that you wrote or a piece that you would like to share in the space. So there are a couple of ways that we can do this. Either we can randomize the people that are here, and or you can put a number in chat for the position that you'd like to go in. If you're like, hey, I gotta go. If I gotta go soon, then we can prioritize you in the list so that we can have you go and then everyone else. And we can randomize anyone else that would like to share. If that sounds good with you all, also, does that sound good with you? Any suggestions for how we can do this? Okay, so if you would like to perform, feel free to you can put an O for open mic if you'd like to perform. And if you'd like to be prioritized in the list, feel free to put a P for priority. Yeah, I'd really love to hear from you all. Some of the pieces that you've all shared today. Oh, P. Okay. Got you. See Josue. I see Chardonnay. I'm really excited to hear what you all wrote. If you didn't write, then maybe you got a piece that you would like to share. Feel free to drop an O to sign up for the open mic. Feel free to drop a P if you'd like priority. And as people are marking that they would like to share for the open mic, I am going to be handing it off to our first performer, who I have actually done an event with in the past. It was super awesome. They are all into shadow work and inner child healing. Chardonnay. Let's give it up for Chardonnay. Woo!
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You'll also be able to hear my toddler in the background, who's just running around. They are the reason I have to go soon because they woke up earlier than anticipated. I would like to.
Oh, I think you're muted. You cut out at I would like to. Oh no.
Using is not matching what I thought I was writing about, which happens all the time in my writing process, and I kind of love it.
Hey Chardonnay, I think you cut out
Oh, no.
for a bit around I would like to, and then
okay. I said I would like to share two pieces. The first is what I wrote today, and it started off being about a very specific dream that I had, and in like trying to just continue writing as much as possible, it turned into talking about something else, maybe. I don't know. Okay, but here it goes. Go, go, go. Sinking into the beyond, water in the desert, guidance from a mermaid. This dreaming beyond the dream, water washing away the confusion, the pattern unforced. It was chosen before birth and birthing, delivery upon relaxation, naturally inducing the waters to flow. In truth, this is the key to committing, trusting the body of the universe to deliver something more beautiful than pain, a body's natural gift, chemicals creating peace without illusion, medication causing contusions and swelling, return to the water, undry the desert, unbirth the lie, reinforce balance this way. Returning to the beginning, a baby with all knowing, healing is the beginning of the journey, not the end. How far do you sink before rising to the other side? This is the nature of birth. Descending through the end is the beginning. And that is my first piece. What are you doing down there?
Thank you so much. Oh my god, did you just write that?
Yeah, that's
yes. Oh my god. Heck yeah. So for all of you here present in the space, if there are any phrases that y'all really resonate, you're like, oh, that's a dope line, feel free to drop it in the chat. Feel free to react with the emojis. Thank you so much, Chardonnay.
Okay. I'm gonna just move you over to here. So my baby is not quite 2, and supposedly 2 is when kids start to like to write and draw and stuff. But this kid has been wanting to write for forever. I actually had to switch from writing on paper to typing because they saw me writing was like, I want to scribble directly over your words. It's fun. And this is another kind of like unfinished thing that I started in a workshop earlier last month. I don't think it makes sense. Like there are some sentences that I didn't finish and just skip to the next part. So we'll see how it goes. Trees do not share blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start that over. Trees do not shed tears for the leaves that leave. My body, bare as the thing I hide, falls behind, away. When I spend all this time alone as I can get, my voice quiets until I'm whispering. So when I speak, no one hears me. I'm used to being spoken over, spoken for, ignored, called shy or introverted or overlooked. Maybe you don't know what that's like. Death crawling up my spine or down my throat, pulling words from my mouth. These metal phrases taste like blood, spilling out for everyone to see. I guess I'm lucky. Red is such a beautiful color, and life energy attracts, draining me. So I will swallow, I will speak, and I will be heard. Okay. That actually was better than I thought. I didn't really read it all the way.
Let's go. Yes.
And something I wanted to share, just because it was a product of the workshop, this necklace that I have didn't have this crystal on it before. It's a piece of pyrite, however you want to pronounce it. And at some point in the workshop, I just looked in front of me and had like the wire and the crystal and had like this ancestral urge to make it.
Oh no, you dropped out again. Ancestral urge to make it. I still can't hear you.
And can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
You dropped out as ancestral urge to make it.
Yeah, I haven't made crystal wrappings in like 4 years, I think. 3 or 4 years. And so just like, thank you guys for this space. Like I came here to reawaken my writing and had my whole creative process, like get that surge of energy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything that you would like to share with our community about the different services that you provide, your profession, your business?
Absolutely. I am currently offering a free discovery call for healing the ancestral shadow child. My work is based in healing the inner child and where that meets your shadow self. And this year has been an exploration of where that overlaps with like generational trauma and repeating cycles. And so this free discovery call is essentially to help you identify that wound for yourself and to see if we would be a good fit to work together for this 12-week, 3-month-long course of personal and ancestral healing. I can drop. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's my website.
For sure.
Healing Cool Waters. I have a bunch of other offerings too, but that is like the new thing that I'm offering that I'm the most excited about. And you can check out my website to find out more. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Chardonnay. Yeah, let's give it up one more time for Chardonnay. That was awesome. Oh my God, the fact that that first piece came through from this workshop. my work here's done. Or it's only just begun. It's both. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so ecstatic about all the amazing things coming through from this workshop. Is there anyone that would like to go next? Anyone who's like, I got a piece, I want to share it, or if you just want to like talk a little bit on what this experience was like for you, no pressure to do a piece. Yes, amazing. Thank you, Christina. Um, yeah, anyone who'd like to share? Oh, Chev, I see you. What? I didn't see you pop up. Thanks so much for coming through. We were just getting to our open mic, so you're pretty much just in time. So yeah, the floor is wide open for anyone wanting to come through. You got something else to say?
If no one else will go, I mean, I guess. Uh, um, I really do want to continue harboring space for others to share. And so I'll really just go right into it. I'll share a little piece that I wrote just now. Thank you, Hector, for the prompt and for the permission to revisit a dream and reshape it. The words came out in Spanish. So for those that don't speak Spanish, the little background is on the first day of the 40-day cycle that is now known as Day of the Dead, on the first day, where I guess the division between the underworld and our world kind of starts to become a little bit more transparent. My grandfather visited me in a dream, and we were in church, and the pews were tight and wooden and stiff, and we were like shuffling through different members of our family members that don't talk. And he says to me, after he hugs me and embraces me, that our fathers need to learn how to love, that we have the ability and the opportunity to teach them how to love. So in my reconfiguring, I broke a hole through the ceiling of the roof of this temple, of this church. I prefer churches to be not in the ashes, but in the ashes of colonialism, where they no longer function as a pulpit in the front where one man speaks from. And so then, with permission, I then like reorganized the pews so that it was formed in a circle, and I invited my dad to be in that moment with us. So, en las cenizas del colonialismo, in the ashes of colonialism. En las cenizas no me gritas, y aún te escucho. El copal humeando del comal de las comadres, no nomás del pulpito del Sagrado Padre. Yo soy igual que tú, hije de la chingada madre. Yeah, so again, el copal, what is this called? Incense, coming from where Mexican women make their tortillas, or where they cook them, versus only being allowed to like be facilitated in religious spaces by men, boys, by those with divine permission to use these sacred and ancestral tools of smoke. So to put it on the comal, so that every comadre, every person has the ability to, you know, clean their spaces and call in divine energies. But yeah, the intention was to decenter. And then I'll just share a poem that kind of came out of this alchemic process. It's called On the Way Home. And not too long ago, I did a road trip, not a road trip, I kind of backpacked through southern Mexico to get to Guadalajara, where I currently am. and this is on my last trip here. But on that trip, when people would ask where I'm going, I would just tell them that I'm on the way home. Not knowing where exactly I was arriving, I knew that I had to get to my brother's wedding. And it allowed me to be vague because home, again, for me, sincerely, is often found in spaces like these. And not always in a particular rigid, this is home, these people are home. Wherever there's love and wherever there's good art, poetry, conversation, I'm at home. So on the way home, my body is asking for rest, and yet I'm blessed to progress across mountains and valleys to my family's mess, their peace. Even Shakespeare couldn't resolve in 5 acts. Replace drama with peace and the love still intact. Hoping you and I can quantify beyond simple add and subtract. I come to our home to construct, not redact. The loving you share is somehow always exact. I just pray that my heart's overflowing and not blinded by lack. Lack of tender embraces, long lavender hazes, lack of unconditional light growing grateful through gazes. From my soul to yours, these words are the key. Now open the door and set our flow free. Thanks again, Hector. Thank you, everybody, for being here and sharing this space. If no one else, thank you, Chev, is going to jump in, I'm going to popcorn this and toss it over to Pablo. If Pablo had anything to share.
Yeah, let's go. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you all. I actually just thought I would pop in. I don't have anything to share, unfortunately, today. Actually, darn, I should have sang a song, but I'm not prepared.
All good. It looks like Christina's ready to share, so we'll go ahead and start there. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you all. I'm outside now. I wanted to share at least the writings from this workshop. There was like a moment when Hector was talking that I was like inspired, and then I heard like, okay, grab your notebooks, and I was like, okay, great. So the timing of the workshop was really, really great. I've been in a place of like in between writing, so just like getting things out is really helpful for my existence. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read the scraps in bit. Art, bridge between worlds. I was so out of it, now alive, now in it, fully. The poet's arsenal, glossolalia, emergent strategies, work, dreamscaping. Wow, I really didn't believe, but now it's like, whoa. I dreamt of lovers, youth, immaturities, maybe growth. Tantrum, anxiety, I was frustrated. Ugh, cranky, disgust. Love? Question mark? IDK. Rage came up. The aggression I hold rage inside of me for all boundary violations. Some we don't even realize at the time. Those are the most. Because I wish to go back and release fullness of emotion, rage. I may not be able to change you, but I'm able to keep myself safe. The child is love. It's tough work. Remolding and reshaping, I was washing a very dark dream in light, and I felt grief and movement toward forgiveness, which involved a wall, a boundary which made me feel safe enough to be with child again after opposing self-abandonment, presence, hand in chokehold, muscles tense, fingers splayed. I released into a softer hand of God. I touched stone, then glass, watched you swathed in light, stuck stillness in time, this reality, I and you separate. I am here. You are not here, not real anymore, because I am breathing. And that is unalienable. Oh, silly freedoms, I miss you so I can long for your love, childishness, love. Life is made for play, and my playground is safe. I am safe to play. My needs are taken care of every day, this far and into perpetuity. Words to play with, safe, art. Thank you for the workshop and everything else organizing. I'm going to tend to my dog now.
Oh my God, Christina. Oh, wow. This is my favorite part, getting to hear from you all, what you all were able to receive from that workshop. Like, oh my God, like, how do I even just, I released into a softer hand of God. Like, just that line. That's a writing prompt. Oh my God. I am breathing. That is unalienable. Yes, 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 for sure. Let's see. I'm just so full. Thank you all so much for sharing space. Christina, do you have anything that you would like to share about anything that you do, anything you'd like to promote or share as a resource?
Not at the moment, but I, welcome and invite people to like connect with me on social media, so we can stay connected for future things. Thank you.
All right, cool, for sure. Thank you so much. All right, would anyone else like to go? I think we have Chev, Karen, Brianna. If any of you would like to share, the floor is wide open.
I wouldn't mind sharing. I do feel bad that like I wasn't able to get in to receive the prompt though.
You're good. You're good. We are live streaming to YouTube, so you can catch up on the workshop there. And yeah, it's all there for you. So you're good.
Let's do a little short submission piece I never performed. Let's have some fun. I smiled today. I smiled like it was a premeditated accident. I smiled like I had every right to. As though my black were galaxy and my teeth were stars, and if you shot at them, you would never hit anything I ate today. Ate as though heaven were promised and gluttony were the only way we could die. I pour into myself until we feel rich. I spend it all with family. I spoke to family today. We made a party in our voices. Here, one step forward and two steps back is just the electric slide. Here, peace isn't still, it's dance, it's hug, it's let me affix you a plate. And what you know about this, I laughed today. I laughed so hard it felt like the butterflies in my stomach were all trying to escape at once. And they did. And so did I. And then I slept today. I closed my eyes and dreamt like a child who has never heard no before. And then I rested. I rested like I had every right to. Because my black is, in fact, a galaxy. Meaning it doesn't have to do anything to be enough for the world. Oh.
Yeah, let's give it up for Chev. Thank you so much for sharing that piece. Oh, the party in our voices part, that was so dope. Do you have anything you'd like to share? Any way you'd like to promote anything that you're up to?
Let's see. I don't know. I just like to connect with people, on social. So I'm at Chev underscore too much. CHEV underscore TOOMUCH. I'll be doing a feature with Pencils and Pens on Instagram on the 17th, which I just remembered. Apart from that, a lot of live shows in the Atlanta area if anyone's out in Georgia. Other than that, just love sharing space, dog.
Oh, thank you. Is that your at that I put in the chat? Is that correct?
Yep, that's the one.
All right, cool, for sure. Okay, let's see. I'm back. Okay. Thank you all so much for sharing space. Would anyone like to go next? Fiona, Karen, if you all have anything you'd like to share, no pressure. If not, then I can share a piece. That's cool with you all. Okay, great, Karen, for sure. Thank you so much for staying through. Okay, what piece wants to come through for me? Let's do a piece from Strange Alchemy. So a little bit about my book, Strange Alchemy. It is a re-alchemized version of my very first chapbook that was self-published called Rewritten, and I recreated the cover art. I put a bunch of different writing prompts in there. It's very visual. It has some photography, visual art, of course, poetry, song lyrics as well. And it's hefty. It's like 98 pages. So yeah, let's see what piece from that is calling out to me. I'm just gonna go for that chat book in the chat. If y'all would like to learn more about it. Oh, let me hyperlink that. I keep forgetting to hyperlink. Okay, so ooh, okay. This piece, let me share with you all. This piece is above the symbol of the three suns that I showed you all in the presentation. So that definitely called out to me. So on the symbol of the three suns from our presentation for the workshop, I'll repeat what it says and then I'll get into the poem. It's called Take It Easy. This is my ghost dreamscape of a historical unearthing. Behold, alchemic glossolalia, radicalized etymology. As the new body awaits emerging, it begins slumber once again. Take it easy. Breath is sacred medicine. Your concentric mind is thin paper held up to the sun. Through it shines colors your retinal cones can't perceive, hues and shades speaking in saturated prisms. But you, all sunlit, you're steadfast to combust, burn slow, move saccharine, syrup-like, re-phoenix from multicolor iridescent flames and allow new chromatics resurfacing from your pearled scales. Breathe easy. Allow present winds to absorb bone deep to mastery kaleidoscopic infernos within. Keep their warmthness radiant. Those severed glacial days were arduous, but you grew rapidly forest-like, expanded every rooted tendril. Nothing else in your opaline mind, but adventuring for novel rivulet passages. This cash cannibal, corporate-bound city, though it chokes the terracing loam below, may reek of sacred decolonized opportunity. Invert skyscrapers. Spill novel multicolor cascades, portraiting paths returning home, keys of access on the tip of your tongue, waiting to somersault into the air to ignite every shade unimaginable as the world will awe and anger. Inhale a dragon of scales and exhale a harmony of hieroglyphs. Woo! Thank you all so much for holding space for that piece. That was Take It Easy, New Colors, from my chapbook, Strange Alchemy. Drop the link in the chat if you would like to learn more about it, if you'd like to see the cover art, see if it's something that you would like to resonate with on a deeper level. And yeah, is there anyone else that would like to share? It doesn't have to be a piece, it could just be reflections, anything that resonated, if you'd like to echo anything. Also, do you have any reflections on what people have been sharing of the space?
No, I just really love what this kind of space invites, what it gravitates, what it attracts. I think it's really powerful. And to not let this phone distract too much, I wanted to also acknowledge in writing comes in different shapes and sizes. I remember I recently read a piece by Brianna where she talks about Princess Nokia, and again, very much in this alchemic, bruja, ancestral, indigenous space that I feel like is very divinely connected to this alchemy and this alchemic community. Yeah, I just wanted to invite, if there are maybe things that aren't quite poetry, again, not trying to push you, not trying to, if you're cool with it, even just dropping a link, because I do feel like the people in this space would definitely fuck with, pardon my French, your work.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I can post that in the chat. I was actually trying to find a piece to share, so part, I just give you like a minute.
Okay, so we'll
for
give
sure.
Brianna that minute. Yeah, Hector, did you want to jump in? Or does anybody else want to jump in with another?
Yeah. I mean, the floor is wide open. We still got some time. If anyone wants to go again. And if you have a piece too, go say.
Ooh. I mean, yeah, but also, yeah, I'll share the piece that really kicked off my poetry journey, that helped me really reclaim my voice, not just in this space, in any space and every space. Being around family so much these past few weeks, everybody tries to tell me who I am or tell me how they see me and understand me, and then invite me to talk, but like cut me off after a few sentences to tell me, well, no, I've known you. And it's like, okay. So I've always liked the idea of I'm a theater kid, so Peter Pan often being cast by a girl, to capture the essence, the joy, the I don't know, just like the femininity in a Peter Pan. So As I was exploring gender and what it meant to me, I wrote a piece called Never Forever Land. I will be your Wendy, window waiting, wondering where's the love they sent me. It's deep inside me thundering. Rejecting your identity to get a better sense of me. Fluid like a liquid, I stay swimming in serenity. Deal with all the aftermath of following Peter's pixie path. Scrap your hegemonic plan. I don't want to be a man, not hoy or mañana. Lost boy with Lil Campana. Fly to never ever land and grow into my own man, not into my old man, towards the land of no man. I made it here with no plan, and I did it with my own hands in the air. I let God take the wheel, and a boon made it clear. Love in my name, even if you're queer. So wait for me, Peter Pan, pansexual heart, 'cause loving is an art. Vagina and or penis, I love you 'cause you're smart. With or without your genius, I've loved you from the start. Hold on to my hands, I don't want to fly apart. We can ditch the pixie dust and fly with our farts. Gaily gaze the world below me, the life that I leave behind. Please don't rewind to know me. Get to know me through a flow of rhyme. With the right cues, you could find my mind. If you want A's, tune into my climb. 'Cause sway's on the way, but they's running out of time. Sway's on the way, but they's running out of time. And taking back what's mine has never been a crime. I soar through the cloud, my chest is singing loud. Yes, I'm queer and I'm proud, but never in a crowd. Genderqueer and I'm proud, but only when allowed. Never, never, ever limit me like that again. Never set forever, keeping me from my best friend. The endless combinations with the meeting of two ends, masculine and feminine, my two energies blend. Ooh, all the hurting that it mends. I'm counting off my blessings and I notice all that's missing. I'm aligning with Allah just so I can start dismissing all the lies about the serpents hissing. Set my eyes beyond reminiscing. Realize all that I've been wishing. At least I try. And until I do, I dismiss demise and expose the lies. Am I really welcome to meet Miss Liberty? Will you speak to me if I don't respond to he? Will God love me if I serve the world while free? Stabilized by the mesmerizing sunrise and the cries of the skies done revealed to me. The love of a God and a flow that's meant to be. Throw away your labels, live my actuality. We will reject all labels, bloom new fruits and family trees. Changing with the seasons and the whispers of the breeze. Accepting me out loud so that you can feel this ease. This ain't no agenda, this is just me. This ain't no agenda, this is just me. This ain't no agenda, this is just me. And then it ends with, it's not about the pronouns, it's about living my truth. Shedding my own shackles, show and telling for the youth. Thank you, folks. Mwah.
Let's give it up for Josue. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Woo, woo, woo. All right. I mean, I know you've been sharing and co-hosting and all that good stuff. Do you have anything more you'd like to share about the work that you do and community and just anything you'd like to plug?
I see Brianna has a piece. Anything I'd love to plug? No, you can check out the Pico link. There's a few things on there, but I'm going to continue exploring this On the Way Home journey over the next year and try to condense it into something a little bit more tangible. But yeah, if any of the work, if any of the words resonate, I'm here to keep the flow going. As Hector shared a little earlier about the spiral and Mesoamerican culture being a symbol for speech and conversation. Um, Everything I do is very much to keep it going and to dispel lies so that we can speak and live in a truth that is very deeply needed for what we're in the middle of and what's coming. So yeah, with a lot of love, I'll look for that Pico link and drop it in the chat, and to whatever capacity you feel inspired to tune in. I also trust that if and when our paths intersect, yeah, we'll continue just spreading that love. So thank you.
Thank you, Josue. All right, for sure. Feel free to check out that Pico link in the chat when it's dropped there, y'all. Okay. So, Brianna, I see that you have a piece.
Yeah, also, I had posted the article that Jose was mentioning earlier, and that is actually for the company that I work for that I had mentioned in my introduction. So check out their page. We do some pretty awesome things. But for my piece, I will also share the link for my piece after. But the title of this piece is called Not His Queen or Close Enough. Under the cover of friendship, the words, all I can offer is, fell from his lips, and syllable by syllable, an invisible bullet was fired into her chest. And living never felt more like dying than in that moment. Love is the pretty thing we place in a golden box on some unseen pedestal because our world is so dreary and full of darkness, and because we fear death and isolation. Loneliness is not an option. It never can be. Love gave her the moxie to no longer fear that unknown future, and instead we went toward it, because under the cover of friendship, she would become a shadow that lingered, looking on a life that she spent so long building but never touched, watching on at the life she could have had in bittersweet agony. The universe decided to bestow upon her one of the most painful fukus and gave her a permanent stone in her belly, knots that would tie in her guts every time she gazed at him and he gazed back, but also right through her. Love is a monster destroying her from the inside out, making her mind a shattered diamond. How cruel life had become, how nearly unbearably crude. But under the cover of friendship, as the words fell from his lips, the diseases in her mind had waged a war against the unexplored soul, and reclusion equaled solitude, the best defense against her lovely monster. Her soul had retreated, and her mind was an aimless wanderer, fearful of that dusty old friend pain. She had grown so content with the idea of a life without sensibilities, because she had been so broken so many times before, and a numb heart drew comfort and security from the gaping abyss that festered inside her. Her temple could not be invaded or tainted after she spent so long reconstructing. She built a fortress of character and grit that she vowed to never let another dare attempt to take siege of. But the man who wore this cover of friendship seemed far from any kind of enemy. Oh, how a demon can dress so finely. She thought he was this lone star-crossed wanderer that ate the same way she did with the stone in his belly, and even when he stood at her gates only briefly, and just as he turned to leave, she let down her drawbridge in the moment of her lapsed judgment just for him. Her absorbent demon reveled in his infamy, and so entered the man under the cover of friendship, a shadow man glimmering in the waiting in the darkness, and who was the golden pretty thing on the pedestal all at once. He was a shimmering diamond fragment that she could piece together in her mind. People have painted the portrait of love with obedience, catering to this flustered notion of a perfectly endless pastoral age of peace and wholesomeness, and love has been painted as an excuse for atrocity and calamity, a love to conquer as seen fit. We all have heard the whispers about love's ability to wreck the indestructible, but no one ever prepares you for that sublime infliction of misgivings that await us at the beginning of our journey into the chasm of amour. Would it have been so bad if under the cover of friendship he wrapped her in the arms of some grand rapture as they laid under the stars, and with no manipulation? How foolish she could think she could drink from an Elysian chalice, and how blind he was to look so faintly at the underdog and the servant and the woman before him. That's it.
Let's give it up for Brianna. Yeah. Oh my God, so many bars in that poem. Got some in the chat. Love gave her the moxie to no longer fear, not so tie in her guts. She's grown so content with a life without sensibilities. Shimmering diamond fragment. That was such an amazing piece. So happy that you could find it. Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone about maybe any events or what you do, any plugs that you'd like to share?
I'm working on getting back into writing more consistently. I'll post the links for the website where you can view more of my pieces. I currently write through Medium and Vocal, just on the side, and when I can. I've been trying to do a couple posts a month, but I'll post that in my socials in the chat. Yeah, it's hard. I just started a second job, so like trying to balance my schedule with trying to make sure that I'm staying true to the artist within his new landscape, I guess. So yeah, and I'll follow anybody who has already shared their socials and everything.
Thank you for sure, Brianna. Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that'd like to share any thoughts? Oh, okay, Chardonnay. So were you also?
Can you?
Yeah, go ahead, Chardonnay.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. This is a poem on generational healing in 3 parts. Grandmother. I worked myself to the bones for this family, carved myself as a meal for them to feast on. This work is my DNA. Call it the cancer in my breast. My arms so swollen I cannot lift my grandchildren. A mutation that grew from being too heavy-handed with my own kids. Like my cells, I divided myself until there wasn't enough of me for me or my oldest child. Killed my husband for her, and when I die, she'll wonder if I ever loved her. Abuse knows many forms, and I'll never know that my best was never good enough. Mother. My mom stopped doing a damn thing for me when I was 12, claimed she didn't realize I still needed a mother while helping her raise her kids. She killed my stepfather, her husband, but I took over his burdens, raised my siblings and their kids and my own, and nobody offered me any fucking help. I've been drinking this medicine since I was 3, and getting sober didn't do shit for me. I worked myself off for this family, and nobody gives a damn. Divided myself until there wasn't any of me left for me. And if they find physical cancer in my body, I just hope the pain ends soon. My best has never been good enough, and I know it. Go to therapy just for them to vent to me, because I got that kind of energy. There is no space here for me to do better. Daughter. That's my kid. Sorry. I lost my mother at 11, and when I found her, I swore I would never be like her. I only have one me, and I'll let everyone starve before I carve my pieces out like meat. Trauma rewrites your DNA, but this healing unravels the spell. If I divide myself until there's no me for me, what will my children think of their own bodies? I spread myself like wings, and I am always at the center. And the truth is, if we give more than we receive, they'll take everything. I call God and ask her to forgive the mothers before me. doing the best with what you have doesn't mean a damn thing when you have nothing. Okay. And that is the poem.
Yeah, let's give it up for Chardonnay. Woo! Definitely feel you on that intergenerational healing, and that is one of many reasons why we're here, to heal collectively.
I believe I wrote that poem a few months before I gave birth. Last March to May area. And this little kid just wants to be all up in my face. I think there was something else. And oh no. Sorry, they stole a handful of peanuts, and letting them eat the peanuts is safer than trying to get them to spit it out. I had another poem I wanted to do, but I don't see it. It's another generational healing poem. Because my grandmother died of cancer, and then my mom smoked tobacco a lot, and I've been battling with releasing the smoking habit for a while. Oh, and I found it. This. Can you turn that off? I don't know if y'all could hear that, but Colin was in the background trying to play music. My mom called me today, said I should take out a life insurance claim on her, said she's struggling to breathe and the stress makes her want another cigarette. The smoke fills her lungs and Here, can I give you my necklace and finish my poem? Thank you. All right, I'm just gonna start from the top because I don't remember where I was. My mom called me today, said I should take out a life insurance claim on her, said she's struggling to breathe and the stress makes her want another cigarette. The smoke fills her lungs and it's less painful than drinking water, laughing, or just fucking breathing. And maybe that's a placebo. Smoking is the only habit she was never able to cut for longer than a week. And if her life's about to be cut short, how much more could one smoke hurt? Says she's smoking anyway because it hurts. We laugh about the irony of her smoking for lung pain while trying to convince me to pay for my own inheritance. I don't want to get off the phone, but she needs to rest. I say call me tomorrow as a prayer for her to wake up again. I picture our relationship as her lungs, coarse, scarred, and covered with tar, the result of years of damage from doing what we're used to, the comfort in setting ourselves on fire in order to breathe smoke, generational curses disguised as habits, our relationship smoking after arguments that left us with throats sore, nicotine and isolation before an apology, potentially collapsing, refusing to give up. Some of my best memories with her were shared over a cigarette and coffee. The beauty of the morning smoke, the beauty of smoke hitting the morning cold air, liquid patience that brings peace. I picture her lungs as our relationship. Fresh air rolling in after fire season. The smoke thick but dissipating, something that created moments that sacred cannot be all bad. She calls me in the morning, all choked laughter and fire.
Oh, we can't hear you.
She calls me in the morning. It's the last we heard.
We can't hear you, Chardonnay.
Grandmother hasn't been alive for a while now.
Hey, Chardonnay, you cut out. Also, what was the line that they cut out?
She calls me in the morning.
Okay, cool. That's the beginning of a section. She calls me in the morning, all choked laughter and fire. I don't take out the life insurance. Call it refusal to believe my mom could be ashes, or stubbornness, another inherited trait. Conversation turns to my mom's mom dying. She ignored the doctor's advice for her to take out life insurance. Says she doesn't say she regrets it, but my grandmother hasn't been alive for a while now. I think about these conversations, resisting the urge to smoke again. My lungs are turning pink again. And that is my last poem of the day. Bye.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let's give it up again for Chardonnay.
I'm also going to drop, what is this thing called? An Instagram in the chat. There's another open mic tonight at, I think it starts at 8, and I'll be hosting it at Rich Alchemy. I had maybe kind of forgot about it, but I'm really excited, and you guys can sign up for the list if you want, or just check it out. It'll be live on Instagram tonight. But yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I think now is a good time for us to get into our second giveaway of the day. So, okay. Thank you all so much for sharing space. I am going to be sharing my screen with you all. So all the different names that are included, the way this breaks down is, so it seems like there's a lot of names, and a lot of them are repeats because, so the way it broke down was there were different tiers of support for this event. For every $10 that were donated, you get another entry. And if you showed up, you get a baseline entry. So like, let's say you showed up, put down 30. So just for showing up, you get 1. For those 30, you get 4 entries total. So that's 1 plus 3. So yeah, we do have like a lot of names. I'm really excited to see who's going to win this alchemic activation 90-minute one-on-one coaching session deep dive. It's so honored that I could do this with you all. And after we announce the winner, I'm going to be diving a little bit into what exactly the coaching sessions are all about. So without further ado, spin the wheel. And our winner is Christina. Oh, yeah. Christina, you here?
Hi, yes. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God. I mean, okay. I feel like with anybody on that list, I would have been, that's so dope that they got it. And specifically for you, I already, oh my God, it's already happened. We're just gonna bring it into this reality.
I'm so excited.
Oh my God. Do you have anything you'd like to share? Any reflections?
I just want to say that thank you for this time and space reality. Once again, just sharing love for, I feel like you are some of my chosen family. And so I'm just like always such a big supporter way over here.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much, Christina. Okay, so let me pull up that little presentation again, just to give like a little overview of what exactly makes this work so deep. Oh my God. Okay, actually, oh my God, how do I? Okay, there I am. There we go. Okay, so we did that first sun, right? The first sphere. dreamscaping. There's 3 other spheres in there, which are transformative experiences, where you do an exercise similar to the one we did, but in your waking life. Oh, and the exercise that you do there is imagining experiences as an environment of color, shape, and sound, basically interpreting that experience as a new form. And we also connect dreams and waking life to creative endeavors where you implement some of your own works and you imagine that piece as a sculpture or environment, how others would interact with it. And all of these 3 things, these 3 main things, all synthesized together to co-conjure an alchemic symbol. And this is powerful beyond measure. That's my symbol over there on the right, with some poetry relating to it. And it basically ties together all the different aspects. It condenses creativity, dreams, and waking life into a symbol that you can utilize in order for you to write, to create. It just becomes a condensed piece of you. And I know it doesn't seem like there's a lot, but trust me, in these one-on-one sessions, it goes super, super deep. And so a little bit more about this is it plans to seed into your unconscious being. And what I mean by that is I'm not here to grow that seed for you. I'm just here to provide you the tools for you to cultivate it. So I can give you the hose, I can give you the shovel, but give you the compost, but it's up to you to utilize it so that you can cultivate your creative intuition to be able to write your deepest inner truths. This is something that I know for a fact my younger self would have needed: the language, the structural blueprint, the structural blueprint. Oh my God, blueprint. This is a blueprint based off of my much longer transcript Ghosts in the Dreamscape. Imagine oracularity times 20 with alchemic symbols, footnotes, a foreword, a spell at the end. For those of you who got the alchemic activation bonus, you got that spell, you got that extra little bit of what alchemic activation is. And so because creative blocks can stem from fear, doubt, stress, etc., they block off our creative river flow, as I would call it. So if you imagine a river just like flowing freely, it is our thoughts, our dreams, just the things that we do in everyday life, the things that bring us joy. It is our inner truth. And so when it comes to being raised in a neo-capitalistic, neoliberal society, that's another block that can be placed in there. Another block can be stress. It can be the impacts of colonialism, intergenerational trauma, personal trauma, just all these things that can get in the way of letting that flow be open and free so that we can freely express ourselves. And of course, there are moments where it still flows actually through the blockages. They're still there, but the resilience speaks through. And so alchemic activation of our intuition reminds ourselves for our ability to heal ourselves and our communities, to bring our lessons from rest, dreams, and joy into our waking lives. Yes, exciting for sure. And so I was rehearsing, getting myself in the space for today, and what really came through to me was this quote. I'm gonna say it 3 times because it feels like magic every time I say it. Alchemic activation is becoming hyper aware of how you are evolving in this moment. Alchemic activation is becoming hyper aware of how you are evolving in this moment. One more time for the people in the back, anyone watching in the future. Alchemic activation is becoming hyper aware of how you are evolving in this moment. Because when we become hyper aware of how we are evolving now, we become aware of how that ties to our past, to our present, to our future, to our community, to our dreams, to our breath, to what we eat. There's potential for this is so potent. It's crazy. So I'm really, really honored that both of you are here. That so that all of you are here. Like it's just so amazing what is possible with this. And so okay, what else can I say about this? So I not only offer this as a one-on-one service, we're going to be having our group coaching in a little bit, with our winner, Christina and Karen, who so generously donated to this space. But for anyone who would still like to donate, the possibility is still open. My Venmo is in my username. The tier for group coaching is $24.44. It's for this event specifically. If you're like, oh, I gotta go, I got things to do, it's all good. You can just let me know that you're interested and we can get that set up to see what works for you. Group, one-on-one, whatever fits best. So yes, alchemic activation ties your creative endeavors, personal purpose, creating alchemic symbols through interconnecting dreams, purpose, and creativity. Josue, I actually remembered that we have done one of these sessions before. It has changed so much since then, but I know that you did get the essence of what this activation is all about. Do you have anything you'd like to share about what that experience was like and how it ties to this workshop and open mic for you?
In relation to it as a practice and the way that you share, you're not here to do the activating for us, that you're here to facilitate and provide tools for us to continue. I mean, today, just another opportunity to revisit that space and these tools. Yeah, I still use the symbol that came out of that space and that conversation to center and ground whenever I feel like I have too many things going on. It was essentially a spiral that blossoms out into a tree, and then I kind of just focus on the bigger branches that require my attention and require sometimes some I don't know the proper gardening term, but some snipping, some shaping, pulling off any leaves that might be infected or that just need a little love. So I'm just grateful to be able to witness once more the power and the potential of this.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much for that. So something emergent came up for two of the people that wanted to do VIP, they had to dip. I did check in with Pablo and it seemed like they at first were able to stay, but then something came up for him. He's like, yo, I gotta go. So what I'm thinking is for Elizabeth and Pablo, that can be something that I can set up. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, Karen, thank you for bringing that up since you do have that hard stop at 5. Since that's pretty much everyone that we had in mind for the VIP group coaching. Then that can be something that I can set up at a later time. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Christina, since you just won the one-on-one, that can be something that we can do at a future time as well. In this moment, is there anything that you would like to share? Anything that has come up for you? Anything in particular that you feel that you would like to workshop? Anything that you feel would be relevant to your creative healing journey?
Oh, me right now?
Doesn't have to be right now.
Oh, okay, totally. I made some beans and rice, and so I wasn't sure if you guys were still live.
Oh, it's all good for sure.
Honestly, I'm pretty open to reschedule just because of all of the value that I've already gotten, like today in this day. That is still continuing, and because I think I might, have more things to work on rather than just like, reflecting on the stuff that came up like today, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Whatever
Awesome.
works best.
Dope. Okay. For sure, Christina.
Yeah, and I'm just like
we
super
can figure
glad
that
that I
out.
won the raffle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. Dope. Okay. Yeah, so I will keep in touch with you, Christina. I will keep in touch with you, Karen, and Pablo, and Elizabeth, so that we can have our group coaching session at another time. Does anyone have any concluding thoughts? Anything they'd like to share? Anything they took away from the space? Oh, thank you, Karen. Of course. Yes, I'm super excited for this as well. Yeah. Yeah, and okay, so yeah, I mean, like, why not? You already won the one-on-one, so you can tune into the group coaching session as well. So yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
A round of applause for Hector. The incredible job. Yeah, navigating
Round
this.
of applause for you, Josue. Woo! Yeah, for everyone that came through. Oh my God. This was so amazing. I'm really happy that we could put this together. And even though, it wasn't, or it was and it wasn't the how like, because I can be very specific, like, oh, like this and have this, that, but there was such a huge amount of free flow in this space that I'm really happy that it could manifest itself into what it's become. And I do think that giving the group coaching session its own space and intent will most definitely also be beneficial to everyone.
I agree. No, this sounds like
Yeah.
the perfect place to wrap our space for the evening and let all of this alchemic and divine energy kind of just continue percolating, marinating. Is there anything else, Hector, that you would love to add or share before we sign off?
Yeah, for sure. So what I can do is I'm just gonna put my link tree in the chat. Anyone if would like to explore that. Oh wait, hold on. Actually, let me do a little something with that because it might be still redirecting to the RSVP page. So I'm just gonna take that down before. Okay. But yeah, so in a moment I'm gonna take off the redirection because there's an option where like takes you different website, but yeah, okay. So now the redirect is disabled. And so my link tree is linktr.ee/dog days are over. I just realized it's right there. So for anyone watching in the present, in the future, feel free to connect with me on any of my socials there. I have music, I have my newsletter, I do creative coaching. There's just an abundance of creative endeavors and offerings in there. So feel free to gravitate towards whatever calls you forth. Once again, my name is Hector. My pronouns are he, they. I'm based here on unceded Ohlone land. I am also known as Dog Days Are Over. My Instagram is at dogdaysareover_Hector C. You can also scan that code over there for the link tree. I do recommend typing it out because that might not work. But yeah, thank you all so much for sharing this space. This was such an amazing opportunity. Oh, Chardonnay, thank you so much. Okay, you'll be interested in working with this type of setting. Yeah, okay, cool, for sure. Yeah, we can definitely set that up. Chardonnay, were you envisioning something like of a group setting, like with one of us individually, or like if that's something that you have in mind? If not, if that's something that you're still processing, then feel free to reach out to us whenever you would like. But yeah, I'll hand it off to.
If I just like vocally respond really quick.
Oh yeah.
I just, at the beginning of this workshop, I just had been like in the middle of planning a event that I wanted to do like towards the end of December, like either right before Christmas or after Christmas. But just
Okay.
like holiday healing is like a theme of work that I've been doing, and it's kind of time to start planning that. As I was thinking about that, this workshop started and I put it on pause. And then just now, as you're doing all of the closing, I just had the idea of like, I would really like to work with one or both of you for that. I can reach out and we can figure out like what that would look like in real life. If you guys, one or both of you, were interested. I know I've worked with you before in the past sector, and I think that's always been really amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to put it out there.
Oh, for sure. I put Josue's IG in the chat. I think what we can do is, yeah, we can definitely get that set up. Thank you so much for reaching out.
Thank you so much for planting that seed. Ooh, truly. Holiday healing is something it's a seed I've been nourishing for some time. So to know that the gardening doesn't have to happen individually and that we can begin to kind of build a community around this kind of work is so affirming. Thank you. We'll definitely be in touch.
Oh, do you have anything to close out with? Anything else you'd like to share? Any links? Anything you have coming up, Josue?
Wow. Yeah. Also, the only thing I really feel called to share is gratitude and that divine eternal love that has been really brewing in my stomach throughout this entire time in this space. I'll redrop the Pico link, which should be in the YouTube live description. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to have shared space like this. Truly. Everybody here has shared some powerful stuff, and I'm just excited to keep the work going. I'm more and more called to grassroots organizing, and to see these kinds of digital spaces be a part of that work is truly inspiring. So I'm excited to rest after today and to
For real.
yeah, and to progress on this journey with anyone and everybody on the way. And hopefully soon I'll see more of you on the way home. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josue. Okay, so because we're all here, what I'm gonna do is I just created a group chat with us, Chardonnay, me, and you, Josue. I'm about to send out a message to us. And we can grow and cultivate together. Super excited, but yes, hope you all rest up. And this has been Hector and Josue for the Alchemic Activation Writing Workshop and Open Mic. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day. I am going to end the live. Yeah, okay. Peace out, YouTube. Thank you all so much for tuning in.